Honza and Jonáš from RedoMySite. Thanks for being with me, guys.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely. All right. So, I think the what we can get started maybe with just some quick intro. So we're here really to talk about the Redo My Site project, and I'm excited to get into that. So maybe could we start with introduce yourselves and then maybe a little bit about what RedoMySite does and quick intro into Redo My Site, and then we can kind of take it for a spin from there.
Okay. So I'll start.
Okay.
I'm Honza. I'm a CEO of this whole stuff, and Jonáš is the chief of product and developer of about half the stuff of Redo and Nua.
I'm partial designer also.
Partial designer. And what basically Nua is all about, and also Redo My Site, is that we think that we are at the point when LLMs can basically help you managing your site. So Nua is about managing your website on autopilot, and basically you can just chat with it on WhatsApp, or we send you nice info about what to make better on your site. And Redo is there's a lot of websites on the internet that are old, bad, people lost access to hosting or whatever, and they are locked in, and we want to free them. So Redo is our way to basically take existing website, redo it to Astro, and deploy it anywhere to Netlify, whatever you want to.
Great. All right. Well, with that, I think probably just makes sense to, can we dig into an example? I have many questions, but I think as we bring up the experience on screen, then we can kind of dig into some of those details.
Yep.
I think we can start right away. So I will write it in. Yeah. So let's share the screen. And I will go right in our dashboard. So we can start with the Redo.
And
So
maybe we can just go to the Redo homepage and show
to see
it.
it. Yeah, we can. That's
Yeah, so basically Redo is a super simple homepage. It has a text box as everything these days. And in this one, you don't write what you want, but you just write your website. Obviously, it should be yours. You should have all the rights that and permissions to use the assets. And from there, you get to the dashboard that Jonáš was showing already, and back to you.
yeah. And because I'm already logged in, so I will start with the creating project. So we have a little project, side project, and we can try to copy it. So I will just start the transformation. And now it will start to crawl the web. It will load all the pages, all the assets, and we'll try to move it to Astro. This old project is PHP and some old stuff, old layouts. So we will see. I probably can show the current website because
Yeah.
this take a while. So
Okay.
Takes about 5 minutes or so. Maybe this website is a bit smaller than usual to make it faster.
And is it grabbing? Does it start with just the homepage by default, or is it trying
Yeah.
to crawl the
Yeah.
entire site?
Well, basically, you get a free homepage when you try it.
I can
For
switch back.
viewers, we have a special code later on in this broadcast to try it for more sites, and then and we will get to that screen in a bit. You can choose what pages you redo, so you can basically redo all the pages, whatever. Um, it's not suitable for e-commerce sites. It's basically for business sites, personal blogs, etc., etc. Um, but if you have a backend functionality, it won't copy that. It goes through the public site and copies that. Actually, reduce copying is not the right word because it actually really reduce the layout and everything. So it looks the same, but the code is very much different.
That makes sense. And so I assume then that in theory, the framework that you've used to develop the site shouldn't matter because you're accessing the production
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
Do you see any difference between different rendering patterns, whether it's server-side rendered, pre-rendered, or using a single-page application or anything like that?
I don't think that we see that, and correct me if I'm wrong. What we actually see that there's a lot of let's call it black magic in web builders and around that, and there's a lot of weird code if you open an HTML on some pages. We also see there's a lot of hacked websites when the sitemap is hacked, and so you can't trust the sitemap on a lot of, for example, WordPress pages.
Because it was one of our first step was to try to crawl the website through the sitemaps, but we find out that it's not suitable for many websites. So right now we are using our own simple crawler that will go through the links, relative links, and then we can see whole site as the user, not as the robots or
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's a really
basically,
interesting
just
discovery. So, like, you're saying it's because you found that sitemaps are not true representation of the pages that are actually on the site?
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
interesting.
when we started this project, we I think did not believe that the internet is as broken or the websites on the internet are as broken as it actually is. So we get a lot of super old weird sites, and especially these have a lot of stuff broken that any developer watching us would probably consider like it has to be okay and checks it
Try to refresh.
through either monitoring or something like that. So um, yeah, we I think that a lot of websites are just waiting for someone to grab them and redo them to something that actually keeps them in a good shape. And as 20 years ago, we all did websites in Notepad, and it had a sort of a easy way to it because then you uploaded it somewhere and it just worked. I think we can bring some of this magic back with what we're doing.
And we are
Interesting.
done.
Oh, great. That was super fast. Yeah.
We are done with the homepage just.
Yeah.
So I can probably show the crowd. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
collections here.
Yeah, so
Uh,
maybe if we can just go super quickly over what you see in the interface
Great. Yep.
and walk you through it
Yep.
because there's several features there that are worth mentioning. So basically, on the overview, I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm still talking, right?
It's fine.
um, Basically, in the overview, you can see that you can connect this to your GitHub and push it to your GitHub. We will get to that later on to deploy it to Netlify. Um, and you can see some of the statuses here, but it's not super important. And the interesting part, maybe let's start with files, because in the files you can see what it actually did. Um, so here you can see some parts of the code when you're logged. Maybe we can unlock the project so to actually
Okay.
see all the stuff.
let's
Yeah,
pay some money.
that that's why the voucher
Fast.
will be coming to all of you watching. And so here you can quickly see the code if you just want to judge how good the project is done. You can obviously connect it to GitHub. It will push to your repository, and everything that's happening later on will be pushed there. Um, but currently, most interesting as we're generating stuff is this generate pages, where you can see all the pages that we've crawled and are on your site. When we're doing something, it doesn't mean that you want to redo all the pages in your
Hmm.
website. You can obviously choose only some, and um, I really don't know exactly how the collections are working because it's a new feature this week. So Jonáš, if you can explain the
Yeah,
collections.
okay. So this page shows you all the pages, as Honza said, but we are trying to sort them into collections to use them as a collection in Astro. So when you have some repeated patterns on pages, we try to pick them up and show you that we think that this website has some collections. So, for example, this is typeface collections, and that's true because the Type Foundry website sells typefaces, and
Okay.
these are three typefaces that should be really similar. And also there is some info collection, and it looks like that there is also like four pages that are probably the same with just different content.
Yeah. And when you're actually doing collections, we build a template for that collection and then just crawl all the rest only for content. So it actually works like collections in Astro. Um, so it's much cheaper to redo collections if you have a blog site with like 100 pages. It's not it's not like 100 pages times $3 that we have to charge because of LLMs and the cost of coding the site. But it's way less because we just need the most of the power for the template, and then the rest is a pretty simple crawl.
Oh, so when you're saying $3 a page, it's more like a page template, and if
Yes,
that's
yes, precisely.
repeatable, yeah, okay,
Precisely.
okay, right. So, I mean, if somebody has a blog site, it's not and has had it for 10 years or lost access to it or whatever, it's not necessarily going to break the bank
Yes.
to move it over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
precisely.
Okay.
It's just gonna basically code the article template and then
Actually, I
pulls
think
pulls all the pulls all
or not.
the stuff there.
Oh, wrong button. Because when I choose the collection, it will shows me the that there is a base.
Yeah, there's like a base price for the template, and then
Okay.
there's some price
Yeah.
for the items. Um,
Makes
as
sense. Okay.
obviously as LM's prices go down, we try to go down as well. We're a small team, so we have to keep it, you know, that we cover our costs. So that's what we can do at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not an insignificant amount of work that's happening. And, it's like they're, especially if you don't have access to that source code, like these pages can get really big. It's a lot of code for an LLM to sort through.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, on the background, we actually, if you would just take the source code and put it to LLM, it wouldn't work. We tried that a month ago, so you have to pre-process it a lot to actually get something usable, and then use LLM basically to finish it up. But it lot of things is old-fashioned programming.
So you're saying you're taking the files as they are in production first, and then having the LLM convert it, or is that not quite right?
We do have a lot of code that basically pre-processes the site
Okay.
and converting um, sorry, CSS to Tailwind, which we actually use, etc., etc. And this is actually something that took quite a while to make right, and and as I mentioned, these like that specific web builders have a weird HTML. That's how we found out, because we had to do a lot of different conditions for some of those. Um, and that's I think one of the reasons that it actually works quite well for 95% of your websites, and converts designs quite close, like 95% of the design. It won't get you one-to-one copy. It's not actually our goal. We want to give you something that feels very similar, but has a
Mhm.
clean code you can easily work with later on.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. And so earlier you mentioned a few different use cases because, um, I know if you have access to that source code, that handoff could potentially be a little bit easier. But I mean, are you seeing like your most common or maybe most successful cases being? Is it usually like someone who has lost access for whatever reason, or yeah, just curious about to dig a little deeper into some of those common scenarios you've seen.
Yeah. Um, so we what and we haven't talked to all the users that are using the Redo My Site service, but what we see are basically several, I think, interesting patterns. One is that you're basically redesigning a site which already exists, and you just want to do it quickly. So you start by grabbing the old one, or doing it to a technology that works quite well, and continue with that. Um, so that's one, I think, interesting way of using Redo My Site. Uh, Second is that you have a very old PHP, mostly personal website. What we see that you just want to host somewhere like Netlify, Cloudflare, whatever, um, and to just turn off the old hosting and be done with the server side rendering, because it doesn't make any sense. Um, and so that's the second one. And then there's a lot of like cases that people are generating one or two pages. I and we haven't dig that deeper into why. um, but what I think that's happening is that basically they're doing the site newly on some CMS or something, and they basically need a template to pull all the stuff together. And basically, what Redo gives them when they crawl one, two, three pages, that it gives them these components, then they just plug into their CMS and basically are done.
Okay. And is there a particular reason why you landed on Astro as the go-to framework for this or
Uh,
migration?
yeah. But well, first, we love Astro. We think that it's a very good framework, and love working with that. But more importantly, we wanted something that's been around for a while. LLMs know it, and it's hard to break, because one tab that we did not show you yet is something we call AI edits, and
to
and
begin with.
it works so that we open the crawled site, and you can use chat to give commands what you want to change about the site. So if you want
Okay.
to do a small redesign of your site, you can grab it through Redo, and here you can just add those or change those small details that you want changed, and deploy it, and that's it. And for this to work, super well, and so we are confident that it won't break anything. We figured that Astro is the right choice.
Yes, and I'm a big Astro fan as well, and I feel like particularly for you said that one of the that the best types of sites tend to be content heavy sites,
Yeah.
and yeah, I've found Astro works really well both with LLMs and also with content sites as well. And yeah, I mean, I'll I'll have agents that will hit snags or run into an Astro error, and it's like almost I rarely nowadays get stuck in that loop. It feels like can resolve itself pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah, agree.
All right, and so you so the process then is folks can preview if you could go back to that dashboard there, can
Mhm.
you
Yeah, we can go back.
so did you and I might have missed that, you were able to kind of jump into a preview, or was it that we
Yeah,
just got the homepage
Yeah,
at first and you kind of
yeah.
had those
no.
in?
There is a button
Ah, okay.
to
Okay.
see the preview.
Yeah, so if we just scroll through that what we grabbed, you can see that there's this header, and here are the fonts that
Where
it's
on the
pretty similar to the old site. It's here.
yes.
So if I just jump back, you see that there's a bit different alignment of the template. Some designer would probably want to fix that through the chat and can do it in the message, but otherwise the site looks almost the same here on our redone site.
And so
So
this looks like there's probably some JavaScript built into it for some of that animation and all of that. So were you
Mhm.
I'm guessing then you're when you're crawling it able to render those interactions, or do you find that the animations kind of have to be rebuilt after the first build?
um, it works in, let's say, half of the cases we're
Okay,
working
that's
on.
not bad. I'll take that.
Yeah, the current problem is that we are leaving the AI to do it. So we are just saying, hey, this looks like a carousel. You should animate it. And AI says, okay, I think it's not carousel. I won't. And so we
Mm,
need to find a way to get the animation directly from the website and say, hey, this is the animation, you should do it the same way. But right now we are working on it. It's not that simple. So current state is that it's like, yeah, 50% probably is the right percentage when it's okay. But you can still move it to the chat and say, hey, there is a header that should move, and it should the the agent should do it.
Yeah,
mhm.
it works actually pretty well if we're demoing it to someone. Then with the chat you can super quickly fix the animations and these basically interactive stuff on the site.
And then as have you found like as you go through that process, is it does the process typically keep the Astro components as they were and inject JavaScript into those components, or do you ever hit that point when you're like, okay, it's time to introduce React into this Astro project?
Actually, we are using Flowbyte for animation, and we are
Okay, okay.
trying to AI just write the Flowbyte and not to add some custom JavaScript. So that's the first part because we are trying to keep it as clean as possible.
Okay, okay.
And I think right now the AI is not allowed to add any React to the project. So if you try to convince it somehow, it will just say that it's not possible and will probably send us a message that
Yeah,
you need something special and we have to do it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or you can do it because it's just a repo and the source code is
yeah,
available, so you can go to the code and change it if you
yeah.
want.
Yeah, the chat is the same as I talked about the Noah site and
Mhm.
changing your website through WhatsApp. So it's the same chat, and because WhatsApp is mostly used by non-programmers, then if the LLM hits a roadblock, then we get alert in our Slack. Um, but for programmers, obviously, it's super easy to open it in Cursor or their editor of choice and just ask, I don't know, Opus or something like that to make it better.
Yes. Yeah. I kind of, I mean, I love that flexibility because always if somebody wants to do more, they can do more. But I think that's one of the challenges that we've seen with these LLMs is just that they're by nature non-deterministic. And so it seems like you've I just really like that approach of, all right, I'm going to put as strict of guardrails in place as we can so that we can first learn where people are trying to push on those a little bit, and then kind of maybe this is saying it wrong, but sort of like tiptoe in opening up new
Mhm.
capabilities versus like if you just let the thing do whatever it's going to do, it's
Yeah,
probably going to get it wrong more frequently.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's right. And what we see in users of the Nua site is that first you just want to try to redesign your site, which works in some places, and Gemini 3 definitely help with that a lot.
Hmm.
It's a great model. But if you actually use it as it was designed to, changing your opening hours, informing your customers about new offer, etc., etc., small changes on your business website, it works super well, and in like 45 seconds you get the preview of the change and just approve it and you're done. And you can do it in public transport or whatever.
Great. Okay, so then once so when somebody has gone through that process and they're relatively happy with the point that they're at, is that the point at which you see folks then push it to GitHub and then go different directions from there?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. For the redo, it then goes to GitHub, and we basically lose control over what people are doing with that. Um, and most as redo is mostly used by developers, most of the usage is taking the components and doing something with the site. But we also do have users that just rebuild the site and published it, so that it's also a use case also for redo.
Yes. Okay. So, and I think we've seen a lot of this at Netlify as well. That there are a lot of different entry points and different ways to kind of configure your architecture and your environment in a way that suits you. So for those folks that are, I'm thinking about, okay, I'm a Netlify user. You mentioned these old having these old PHP sites running on servers that really struck a chord with me because I mean, I just had boatloads of just simple marketing sites that were full stack Ruby on Rails applications. I got to manage these running servers. And this was, way before AI, where I went through the process of converting those to some other framework and then deploying them to Netlify. But I could really see, if I have one or two of those hanging around now, that I might say, you know what, I'm not going to go through that process today. I'm going to use redo my site,
Hmm.
and then I'm going to deploy it to Netlify and then kind of funnel it down into my flow. So yeah, curious if we kind of take a look, and we don't have to go through the whole process, but um, maybe kind of like talk us through what that would look like.
Yeah, sure. So let's connect the repository to GitHub and deploy it to Netlify.
Yeah, we can. So I will share the screen again. And we go to connect. I will add it to my repository.
If
So the
you
first time you do this, you have to
yeah,
install the
you
application.
have to install a
Yeah.
super easy GitHub app to just allow us to do this.
Hmm.
To create the repo and push it to there. So not sure if it's
Yeah,
it's done. So right now it's in the repo. So
not sure if we have a link here somewhere to the repo.
we should.
Yeah,
There
it's
it is.
actually here.
But it's not active. Here. So yeah,
Yeah, so you get the repository with all the code. As you can see, there are already some agents, MD, and cursor rules to help you do other changes outside of what we've built. Um, and as this is standard repository of Astro, we can then go to Netlify and connect the repository and deploy it to Netlify.
yeah. So I can go there and copy this thing. Oh, again. Yeah. New.
Um,
I've probably wrongly set the
maybe you can go back to Netlify and
Yeah.
there's a link to configure the
Ah.
Netlify app on GitHub, and you have to just configure.
So
Oh yeah, if you've only chosen the select
Yeah,
repositories.
precisely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
Repository.
so I trust Netlify. So
We appreciate that.
and let's find. Oh, there. Are
2 minutes ago, so
So
this
it's
one.
this one. Yeah, and I think all these are fine. Yeah, this looks.
It should be ready to go, just pulling the data from the repository. So there shouldn't be any setup needed.
And so for the folks that tend to stay in the newest site ecosystem, is it do they have to go through? You said there's just a publish button for them.
Yeah.
You'll publish that on their behalf, but then they can use the Nua chat to kind of iterate from there as well, right?
Precisely.
Yeah, actually, the Nua site is just agent that works on your repo, so you can still use Netlify, and our agent,
Oh, okay.
our Nua agent, will push it to the main, so it will work just fine.
Yes.
Okay, so as long as you're giving it the GitHub access, then it's good to go.
Precisely. You as we saw the chat in the
I can test it, yeah, and we
Amazing, amazing.
it's
it's
running
deployed,
on Netlify.
so it's
And
on
if I would
Netlify.
now, if we would now go to the chat here, the edits, uh, the preview is actually on our domain, but when you would push it to live, it would push to the main on Netlify, and automatically, as the main is deployed, it would be deployed to your website. So that works quite fine.
Great, great. All right.
Actually, I think that for developers, you've got something that's more like developer heavy in Netlify. That's definitely probably also a way to change change your site when you deploy to Netlify.
Yes. Yep. Yep. So this, this has me. I'm like, okay, what old project do I need to move? So stop managing some of these servers. I want to go use this. And you said you earlier mentioned you have something to share with folks who want to kind of dig in and see what this is all about.
Yeah, definitely. We have um, we have a voucher code for you to test it on more sites and unlock your project and everything. It's gonna be it's going to be functional till next Wednesday, so we've got a week to test it. And Jonáš, can you share it, because I don't know what
It's
the
just
link-
Netlify,
so,
all caps.
yeah.
Netlify, all caps. Okay, great. We'll add that to the description in the YouTube video, and then
Yeah.
also share that on Twitter as well, if that's where you're watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, and what is that going to give folks?
It's gonna get folks to unlock 3 pages or more when they have a collection, so they can really test what RedoMySite can do for them, what the code quality is, and judge for themselves whether this is something that will help them with some of their use cases. And we are definitely very keen to hear what people, what use cases people have for service like this, and also feedback how their site went. So always happy to chat on x.com or anywhere.
That's wonderful. And I mean, as we saw today, the $9 can get you really far if you've
Yeah.
you got a blog site, simple portfolio site, something like that. Yeah, great excuse to go build that new iteration of the personal portfolio site or the blog. And I know that's a common thing for me. I'm like, oh, I get a little bit of free time. Like, oh, I want to redo my personal site. And, here it is 5 years later, it's the same. So it's, yes, here's the motivation to go out and actually do that work.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you both for being here today. This was really interesting. I'm excited to dig in and get my hands dirty and learn a little bit more here, but I appreciate your time.
Yeah, well, thanks you. And folks, give us feedback what you love and what you hate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, what's the best channel for folks to share feedback with you?
We're pretty active on X,
Okay.
so you can find both of us there, or there's NuaSite, which you also mentioned in the on X when sharing this video. So we're definitely happy to chat there. Or there's nua@nuasite.com email, which is like our main email, and both of us are there and happy to answer all your not public questions in via email.
Or you can
This is
send
great.
us DMs on X.
Whatever.
It's also
Okay. Yeah. So great. Lots of options. I'll add those links so people can find them when they come across this video. But yeah, I think that's it then. Thanks, folks.
yeah.
Well, thank you.